Welcome back to the Detroit Historic Museum. I'm Darryl.
And I'm Renee.
And on today's R&DW Adventures, we're going to take another look at one of the coolest things in this museum, one of our hidden treasures of Detroit, the old streets of Detroit.
The really cool thing about the streets of Detroit is it's split into three sections. This first one here is the 1840s. As Detroit is coming out of the fur trade and entering into commerce, you can see little shops. There's a printing press here. There's some clothing stores, furniture stores. The streets are what I find most interesting, but I'm glad I didn't live here during this time. The street itself is cobblestone, and for me, a tripping hazard. But on the sides, like in front of the commerce, in front of the stores, there are actual boards like a boardwalk. It's actually really cool here. So as we transitioned from the 1840s to the 1870s, we literally walked over a threshold that was kind of smooth. There was a sign indicating that we were changing, and then the streets changed. It went from that cobblestone to it's kind of like tree stumps, like shoved into the ground, and it's a little bit smoother. It's filled in, much easier to walk on. But the storefronts, which are some actual rescued storefronts from the time, start to be a little bit bigger in commerce. There is a toy store, there's a shoe store, a tobacco company, famous Saunders hot fudge, and an established fire department, or firehouse, I guess you can say. And Detroit was one of the first places to pay its firefighters. And as we moved into the 1900s, there's actually another threshold, of course, and the streets are even smoother, better laid out. This time they're made out of brick, and the sidewalks are actually cement. I think that is one of the companies around here too. And you can see as the commerce is getting bigger, more industrial, there's actually storefronts that you can go into and look at representations of what was there. There's a really cool drugstore. There's the bike store behind me. There's Kresge's Five and Dime, which later became Kmart. Oh, and there's the Grand Trunk passengers waiting room, it's all just really, really cool to look at.
The streets of Old Detroit really is a great place to visit, a great way to get to know a little bit about the city, and a great use of space that you wouldn't expect in an indoor museum like this. Word of warning though, there is a little bit of creepy here as they have some dioramas in some of the storefronts with mannequins that just aren't quite right. So we do recommend coming out and checking out, if nothing else, the streets of Old Detroit, but they do have a ton of other exhibits. All of them are open and free with the admission. Make sure to check out the website, which we'll have linked below, for those hours and for the admission price. That's going to wrap it up for this one though. Make sure to check out our channel at the corner down there, and we're going to put some of the attractions down in the other corner with a playlist.